to the online library project where we learn English and spend our time comfortably and usefully. Today we are going to learn more words on describing a place in the country. We shall also practice the rules of using countable and uncountable words in a context. Do you remember why people choose living in the country? So if you remember from the previous lesson, if you want to have a really quiet and healthy life, you must go and stay in the country. So today we are going to talk to Vlad, an 11-year-old boy from a school in Chișinău. He is going to answer some questions. While you listen and read his answers to the questions, think of your own answers. So we asked Vlad, where do your grandparents live? So his answers was, my grandparents from my mother's side live in Chișinău. My grandma from my father's side lives in Durlești. Second question, how often do you visit them? So Vlad's answer was, I visit my grandparents very often. My family and I go to my grandparents every weekend. We like spending time together. Another question. How do you get to their place? And Vlad's answer is, because my grandparents don't live far from us, I can visit them by going on foot or by riding my bike. But when we go to them with my family, we usually go by car. Another question. What do you see on the way to your grandparents' house? So Vlad's answer was, if we go to my grandparents who live in Chișinău, I see only buildings and stores on my way to them. If I visit my grandma in Durlești, I can see many smaller houses where people have hens and chickens in their yard. Many have dogs and cats too. Another question for Vlad was, what do you like best about your grandparents' place and why? So, and this is his answer. I like that we spend a lot of time together by playing games and telling stories. My grandmother likes telling stories about her life as a child. I also like how my grandpa cooks. His sarmale or cabbage rolls are delicious. Now we're going to work with some words, but I would like to know, are your answers different or similar to Vlad's answers? How are they different or similar? You could also share your answers with your classmates and have quite a nice conversation. But now let us keep going and learn some new words that will help us in understanding a text that we are going to read a little bit later. So the words are foundation, barrel, cellar, iris, jar, jelly, turnip, pickle, the verb to bloom, the verb to extend, the verb to hold, and the adjective fragile. So the first word is foundation, fundament. The next one is barrel, butoi, cellar, beci sau pivniță, iris, flor de iris, jar, borcan, jelly, magiun sau geleu, turnip, nap, pickle, murătură, to bloom, a înmuguri, to extend, a se lărgi, a se extinde, to hold, a ține, a păstra, and the adjective fragile gingaș, firav sau fragil. Now we're going to read the text and say what Amanda likes more about her grandparents' house. So let us begin. When Granny asks me to bring something from the cellar, I do it with the greatest pleasure. As I choose my favorite jam and pickles, I imagine a lot of things happening there. The cellar is made of stone and extends under the summer house. Every spring, Granny whitewashes its walls. There is a small room in the cellar with apples, pears, turnips, carrots, and potatoes. This is the result of my granddad's hard work in the kitchen garden. On the wooden shelves stand the results of my granny's summer work. Every kind of jelly, pickle and jam with preserved cherries, peaches, pears, plums, raspberries, strawberries, and gooseberries from their own garden stand in shining jars. Great glass jars and small barrels hold cucumbers and tomatoes, watermelons, and cabbage. In spring, I see and smell the fragile irises which grow and bloom all around the foundation of the house. So let us work a little bit with the text. What does Jenny like the most to pick from the cellar? And if you remember, in the text was the information. She likes to pick her favorite jelly and pickles. Who whitewashes the walls? Cine văruiește pereții? Grandma whitewashes the cellar. Where are the fruit and vegetables stored? Do you remember? They are stored in a smaller room in the cellar. When does Jenny admire the irises? Irisii, florile. Do you remember? In spring. How are the pickles stored? So the pickles are stored in glass jars and small barrels. Why does Jenny enjoy going to the cellar? Do you remember? She says she likes imagining a lot of things happening there. Now we are going to continue working with the text and we have to choose the best answer to complete the sentences. So the first sentence, Amanda chooses her favorite jam and pickles from there. And we have three options: the attic, podul, the kitchen, bucătăria, the cellar, beciul. So what is the correct answer? It is the cellar, of course. Okay, so sentence number 2. Granny is pleased to see that Amanda likes her tasty jellies. Este mulțumită. Granny is angry, este înfuriată să vadă că Amanda îi place să guste din magiunurile bunicii. Or is nervous, este nervoasă. So what is the correct answer? It is pleased. Granny is pleased to see that Amanda likes her tasty jellies. Okay, next we have sentence number 3. The cellar is made of iron, beciul este făcut din fier, of stone, din piatră, or of wood, din lemn. So the correct answer is stone. The cellar is made of stone. Number 4. The glass jars stand on the floor, on the shelves, or on the tables. So they are on the shelves. Sentence number 5. Every spring, Granny whitewashes the walls of the cellar, vopsește, paints the walls of the cellar, or vacuums dă cu aspiratorul pereții, vacuums the walls of the cellar. And the correct variant is whitewashes. Every spring, Granny whitewashes the walls of the cellar. Okay, now we are going to work with some grammar. Look at the grammar box. Here we have countable and uncountable nouns. Countable, numerabile, uncountable, nenumerabile. Numerabile, putem să numărăm 1, 2, 1, 2, uncountable, nu putem să numărăm. De ce? Se numește nenumerabile. So if you want to use quantifiers with countable or uncountable nouns, we use many, few for countable nouns and much, little for uncountable nouns. Many apples, few pears, many flowers, few boys, many leaves, few foxes, many buses, few irises, many pancakes, few sellers. When we have uncountable nouns, we use much or little. Much jam, little money, much sugar, little flour, much water, little bread, much cheese, little salt, much ham, little snow. A countable noun has a plural form and we add the ending s or es according to the rules of forming the plural form. Remember the rules? So if the noun ends in double s, s, o, ch, sh, or the consonant and letter y, we add es. There are 12 nouns that end in f or fe that change the plural form into v, and we add es. Like for example, we had leaves, frunze, multe frunze, many leaves. The uncountable nouns do not have a plural form, but countable and uncountable nouns can both take the quantifiers. Now, let us read the text and identify the countable and uncountable nouns. So we have here, when Granny asks me to bring something from the cellar, so cellar is a countable noun. Cellar, cellars. Pleasure is an uncountable noun. We cannot have the plural form. Jam, uncountable noun. Pickles, plural form, countable nouns. Things, plural form, countable nouns. Okay, so in this paragraph, let's see. So the cellar is a countable noun. Stone is, in this case, de piatră is uncountable, but we can count if it is just one, so stone, stones. Summer, it is a countable noun. House, countable noun. Spring, a countable noun. Walls, countable. Room, countable. Apples, pears, turnips, carrots, potatoes, all are countable nouns. Result, also a countable noun. Granddad is a countable noun. Work, uncountable. Kitchen and garden are both countable nouns. The next one, shelves, results are countable nouns just like granny and summer, but work and jelly are uncountable nouns. Pickle, we have already worked with, it is a countable noun. Jam, it is an uncountable noun. So we have cherries, peaches, pears, plums, raspberries, strawberries, gooseberries, jars, barrels, cucumbers, tomatoes, watermelons, and cabbage are all countable nouns. And the last paragraph, we have irises, foundation, and house, which are countable nouns. Now we're going to work with this exercise where we have to fill in with many, much, little, or few. Remember, if we have countable nouns, we use many or few. If we have uncountable nouns, we have much or little. So in the first sentence, we have the word barrels, which is a countable noun, it means that we can use here either many or few. So, how many barrels have you got in your cellar? In the second sentence, we have the word money, which is an uncountable money. So, if we have they are poor, they haven't got much money. Nu au mulți bani. Number 3, eggs, countable noun. We need many eggs to make this salad. Or we can say we need few eggs to make this salad. Have you got many irises in your garden? Juice, uncountable. Do you drink much juice? Number 6, he likes jam on his bread. We can say he likes much jam on his bread, or he likes little jam on his bread. And the last one, we can't make pancakes. Nu putem să facem clătite. Why? Because we have little milk, uncountable noun. Okay, now we are going to work a little bit with Vlad again, and we are going to ask and answer about the prices of the foods and drinks in the pictures below. And we have here an example. How much is a bar of chocolate? It's 9 lei. So if we have a bar of chocolate, we have the question, how much is a bar of chocolate? It is 13 lei. Okay. Another question, a bunch of grapes. Cât costă un strugure? So how much is a bunch of grapes? It is 2 lei. Next question, a jar of pickles, un borcan de murături. How much is a jar of pickles? It is 12 lei. How much is a carton of juice? It is 16 lei. A packet of biscuits, un pachet de biscuiți. Cât costă? How much is a packet of biscuits? It is 4 lei and 50 bani. A loaf of bread. How much is a loaf of bread? It is 3 lei and 60 bani. Now we are going to work with the exercise where we have to fill in with the right words from the box. In the box, we have the words bar, bottles, box, jar, bunches, loaf, and packet. Now we have to look at the words in the text to understand what word to use from the jar. We have F chocolates. So in this case, we have to use not a bar, because a bar is used with the word chocolate, a bar of chocolate. In this case, we can use a box of chocolates. When we speak about bread, we use a loaf of bread. When we speak about butter, we have a packet of butter. Mineral water, we have bottles of mineral water. Strawberry jam, we keep in a jar. When we speak about grapes, we have bunches of grapes. And when we have the word chocolate, we use a bar of chocolate. So in the end, we have this text here. Ellen's classmates went for a picnic. Each of them had something to share. Ellen brought a box of chocolates. Jane came with a loaf of bread and a packet of butter for sandwiches. Tim bought 2 bottles of mineral water. Sandy's grandmother gave them a jar of strawberry jam. Angela had some bunches of grapes from her own vineyard. Diana shared a bar of chocolate with all her classmates. Today, we have been at Jenny's grandparents and learned a lot of words that describe the results of hard work that people in the country do to keep their cellars full with goodies. Have you ever been in a Moldovan cellar and smelt the nice flavors coming from stored jam, pickles, fruit, and vegetables? As now it is reflection time, imagine visiting a rich, flavored cellar. Describe what you feel. Have a great time reflecting.